everyone! In this video, I'll be explaining how to write a summary and response paper. First, let me explain what is a summary and what is a response. What is a summary? It's basically a brief statement of the main points of a work, like an article, book, chapter, film, any type of text or work, and it's brief, it's short. So let's say you read an article that's 3 pages. You're going to write a summary that's a paragraph that explains what those 3 pages were about. And in a summary, you don't give your own ideas or opinions. You just explain what the text was about. Or another example is a film. Let's say you watch a 2-hour movie. A summary would explain in a few words, in a short paragraph, what that movie was about. So if someone hasn't seen the film, they can get an idea of what it's about and the main points. What is a response? A response is your reaction to a work. So this is like your opinion. How did you feel after reading the article or watching the movie? You can react by giving your opinion if you agree or disagree with the author, or maybe partially agreeing or disagreeing. So maybe you agree just with one thing that the article talked about, but you don't agree with everything in the article. Reflecting on your own experiences and how they connect to the text. So maybe reading this article or this book made you think about your own life and things that have happened to you. Or maybe the people that are close to you. Expanding on the ideas presented in the text. Maybe you have more to say about the topic. Expand means to make it longer, to add. So you have information or knowledge about this topic and you want to add more. You have more to say. Maybe you compare or contrast, so you find similarities or differences with something else. For example, your culture. Maybe you read something about American culture and you want to talk about similarities and differences with your culture. And a response can also critique and evaluate. So critique is basically if you think what you think was bad about it, was not good about the article or the movie or whatever the text is. And that's the same thing with evaluating, like what were the strengths or the good things about it and what were the bad things about it. So, for example, the book Enrique's Journey, you can critique and evaluate what were good things about the book and what were bad things. Do you recommend the book, for example? So what will we be doing this semester? You will be writing 3 or maybe more summary response papers. So these will be assignments where you will write 2 paragraphs. Your first paragraph will be the summary that explains the article or the chapter from the book. And then the second paragraph is a response. So you will give your opinion or your feelings about it. All the things I just mentioned about response. And we will do this for articles and chapters from the book. Why are we learning how to write summary and response papers? This will give you practice demonstrating or showing that you understood what you read. This is a common assignment used in college writing. Also, in work and other areas of your life, you might need to summarize. You might need to explain in fewer words what happened or what you saw or read or experienced. And respond, practicing giving your opinion and connecting it to what you believe or what you've experienced. Okay, what are the steps to write a summary? So I'm going to first explain how to write a summary and then how to write a response paper. And at the end of this slideshow, there's an example. Okay, steps to write a summary. First, read and understand the text. This is very important. You have to read and really understand what the text is saying to be able to explain it in your own words. I recommend reading the text maybe 2 or 3 times, annotating, asking questions, using a dictionary to make sure you understood what the text says. Write the summary, and you're going to follow a specific organization, and then check your writing. Now I'm going to explain how to organize a summary. Just like a paragraph, you need a topic sentence, supporting sentences, and a conclusion sentence. Let me talk about the topic sentence first. Oops. In a topic sentence, you want to give the title of the text. So for example, if you're summarizing this book, you want to give the title Seed Folks. If it's a larger work, like a book or a newspaper, you'll use italics, like this. And if it's a shorter work, like you're summarizing an article or a chapter from a book, you're going to use quotation marks. You should also give the text type. Explain, is it a film, a book, a magazine, a chapter in a book? Sometimes you can also include the publication. So if it's an article, what newspaper did it appear in? Or if it's a web page, like what was the website where it appeared? The year, if that's available, the author, and then a reporting verb. Is the author says, writes, argues, explains. You can be specific on what they're doing in the text. And then this is very important. In that first sentence, you want to give the main idea. What was the main point of that text? Here's an example. In the novel Seed Folks, 2002, so I gave the text type novel and the title, Seed Folks. Paul Fleischman, that's the author, describes, here's my reporting verb, a rough neighborhood in Cleveland, Ohio, where a community garden began that brought this diverse community together. So this would be that first sentence in your summary. Okay, and these are some of the important things to include. You can also use this template to fill in for whatever you're writing. This can help you write your topic sentence. And then here's another example. Like you could say, for example, in the article, and then because it's an article, I'm going to use quotation marks. What is anti-racism? The year in parentheses. And then it was published on this website, so I'm going to write that, comma. So this all here is my front structure. Then I have my subject is the author, Kendra Cherry, and then the verb, explains, and then this is the main idea of this article. What anti-racism is and how people can actively fight against racism. Okay, in your summary, after the topic sentence, you want supporting sentences. Identify the other important ideas from the article. You don't want to give all the details because remember it's short, just the important points. Do Do not copy word for word from the text. Use your own words to describe the main points. You might need to use some important words from the reading, of course, but you don't want to copy from the article or the book. Explain in your own words what it was about, especially the main points. Look back at your annotations. Use headings if available to guide you. You don't need to give every detail, okay? And this is especially helpful, looking at headings, and because that can show you what the main points are. And then in the conclusion sentence, that last sentence of your summary, explain the purpose of the text. Why did the author write that book or that article? What is their goal? What do they want the author to feel, what do they want the reader to feel or do as a result of reading that text? Here's an example. Cherry wrote this article in order to encourage people to closely examine their own beliefs and behaviors so that we can end racism and have more equality in society. So that's why she wrote the article, because she wants people to look at themselves, and if they look at their behaviors, we can try to end racism and have more equality. Okay. At the end, you always want to check, okay? Reread the article or the text to make sure you got all the main ideas. Be sure your summary doesn't contain unnecessary details. Remember, the summary is a short or brief description of the text. And then check for grammar and punctuation mistakes. Now I'm going to talk about writing the second paragraph, the response. Look back at the text in your annotations. How does it make you feel? What is your reaction? You might agree, you might disagree, you might like the article, or maybe you dislike the article. Something bothered you about it that you want to express. Free write and brainstorm, and then write your response. Like I mentioned before, there's different types of responses. Giving your opinion, connecting to your personal experience, expanding or adding more ideas, comparing and contrasting, and critiquing and evaluating. How can you organize that response paragraph? Just like the summary, the response has an organization. You want a topic sentence with your overall response, supporting sentences that give important details, explanations, and examples for your opinion and your response. So for example, if you agree with the article, then give details to show, like, what specifically did you agree with and why did you agree with it, and can you give an example? And then finally, the conclusion sentence, how does your response relate back to the text? So go back to the article, like why is it important? Yeah, so how does your feelings relate back to the text, and why is this important? And then this is a sample summary and response. I recommend pausing the video. And okay, if this is too small, I just put the summary on one slide and then the response on another slide. But this is so you can get an idea of what you'll be writing. So it's like a 2-paragraph paper. First paragraph is a summary, an explanation of the text. It doesn't have your opinion. And then the second paragraph is your opinion. Okay? So I recommend reading this over carefully so you get an idea of how to write a summary and response. Okay, this week you'll be writing a summary response paper for homework, and in the Zoom sessions I'll help you prepare. I look forward to reading your summary response papers this week. Bye!